there. Wonderful. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the PCCW new member webinar. Please note that this program is being recorded. I'm Jennifer Amato, and I will be your moderator for this evening's webinar. All participant phones are now muted. You may ask a question at any time during the presentation by clicking the raised hand button. This is located at the top left of your screen, after which we will call on you to begin your question. You may also use the chat feature located next to the raised hand button throughout the webinar. In addition, we will have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Today's featured speakers are Heidi Grenick, Vice Chair of the President's Council of Cornell Women, and Cheryl Boyer, Membership Co-Chair for the President's Council of Cornell Women. Heidi earned a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering and a Master's degree in Mechanical Engineering and Manufacturing at Cornell University. She is incoming chair of PCCW. Cheryl graduated from Cornell University with a Bachelor of Science degree in Hotel Administration in 1987. Also joining us is Tina Gorley, Director in the Office of Volunteer Programs. Go ahead, Tina.
Okay, Heidi, go ahead.
Hi, so again, as she mentioned, my name is Heidi Grenick. I'm the incoming chair of the President's Council of Cornell Women, and I am absolutely delighted to welcome all of you to this webinar, and with a sincere hope that you learn more about all the great work that PCCW does, and that you would be very interested in accepting the offer of membership for PCCW. You'll come to find out as you learn a little bit more about the organization that this is a dynamic group of women that you should feel very proud to be asked to join. I am always in awe of both the accomplishments and the quality of the women that are part of PCCW. So I'm very excited that you've been extended an offer to join the organization, and I look forward to working with all of you over the next couple of years as we continue to move forward on the PCCW initiatives that support the university in so many ways. I don't know if you were intending on moving to the next slide. I'm actually in transit, so I can't see the slides as they're being presented. But if you were moving to the next slide where it says congratulations and welcome.
We're there.
Is that up?
Yeah, that's it.
So I'd just like to leave you guys with a pro tip. If you look in that back left corner of the picture, you'll see me wearing a bright yellow shirt. When you attend your very first PCCW symposium, just keep in mind everybody wears black and red, and try not to wear the bright yellow shirt so that you stick out in the back corner of the photo, the group photo. But with that, I'm going to turn it over, and again, just welcome, and I look forward to meeting all of you as we continue on this journey. Thanks.
Great. Well, I guess I'll chime in now. This is Cheryl Boyer, and I'd like to add my congratulations and welcome to all of you. As Heidi mentioned, I mean, I think everyone was elected. You all were elected because you have achieved significant leadership in your business, your profession, your vocation, and I agree with Heidi. I'm always in awe of the accomplished women that are part of PCCW. We have this session often that's part of symposium where we have 30 seconds going around the room to make introductions, and sometimes when it comes my turn, I want to crawl under the table instead of speaking up because I haven't cured cancer or achieved world peace. But it's truly a really very approachable, really terrific group of women to work with, and I'm really proud to be a part of the organization. As Jennifer has the slide up now, PCCW's mission is to enhance the involvement of women students, faculty, staff, and alumni as leaders within Cornell's many communities. You can imagine just the diversity of interests that are represented here, and we really try to kind of come together and deal with so many of the different issues from a women's perspective here. Just to give you a little bit of an overview in terms of the structure, Tina, if you could go to the next slide. This will give you a bit of an overview of the structure of PCCW. And as you can see from the slide, PCCW is a part of the much larger university structure, obviously with our new president, Martha Pollack, at the top of the screen here. We have Vice President Fred Van Sickle, who is with the Office of AAD. Jim Mazza, who is the Associate Vice President of Alumni Affairs, has been a terrific resource to our organization, and has been very active and involved part of supporting PCCW. Then we have our Senior Director of Volunteer Programs, Laura Denbow, and of course, Tina Gorley, who's on the line with us, and all of whom provide really terrific support to PCCW. And then you'll see here at the bottom the how this all supports PCCW's steering committee and membership. So PCCW's steering committee is basically our governing body. We've got some set positions, but the committee also changes based on the needs of the university. And so, for example, this past year, we added a student liaison as well as a faculty liaison, to help round out our steering committee. So it's something that we continue to look at ways to make sure that we're engaging as appropriate, and we'll add to our governing body as necessary and as the needs of the organization evolve and change. Oh, sorry, there's something wrong with my computer here. Can you just give me 1 second? Trying to. Okay. PCCW has a number of different committees, and I think one of the best ways to engage with the organization is to get involved with one of the committees. We have a lot more detailed information on our committees on the PCCW website, and please feel free to reach out to the chair of any of these committees if you'd like more information or if you're interested in joining one of the committees. And you can see that we have them all listed out here on the slide. We have the Alumni Engagement Committee, Communications, Development, Faculty Engagement, Grants, and of course, Membership. Then there's also our Mentoring Committee, Nominating Committee, which is by invitation only, and Symposium Planning. I find that, over someone's tenure as a part of PCCW, we do find members getting engaged with multiple committees or changing committees as your interests and your availability changes. So I would encourage you to explore the committees in more detail, take a look at the descriptions of the committees. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have, as are the chairs of each of these committees. But I was fortunate enough to get involved pretty early on after joining PCCW in the membership committee, and it's just been a great way for me to get to meet so many members and also new members as they come on board. So I think it's a very, very worthwhile experience. So on this next slide, you can see some of our statistics on PCCW membership. Our elected members serve a term of 6 years. So you can see right there, we have about 286 current elected members. Then after your active term of the initial 6 years, members have the opportunity to stay on in a sustaining membership role. And so in addition to our elected members, we have another 354 members that are sustaining members. Emerita members are past chairs of PCCW, as well as the founding class of PCCW. And then you can see that we have, we also have faculty reps, as I mentioned, and student reps that are newer positions to us. And we really are, if you think about our membership, we are very geographically diverse. Our members really come from across the country, and every college within the university is represented in our membership. So this is just to give you, this was a question I think that came up from a few of you. Kind of what are the membership expectations of PCCW? I think a big part of the expectations is really to have you actively engage and participate in activities, attending the annual symposium, nominating one or more candidates each year, and also strengthening PCCW's presence by attending events. In addition to the symposium, we tend to try to get together on a regional basis in addition to the annual symposium. So you may see invitations in your local areas for different events that are occurring over the course of the year. And those are great ways also to engage with PCCW members in a smaller setting. So that's also very, it's just a really good way to get to know other members. We also expect that our members will make an annual contribution to PCCW and or Cornell, and this is really at your individual level of comfort. There is no set expectation in terms of donation. This is really all just very personal, and just making a contribution at your individual level of comfort. And then we also expect you to join CU Volunteer. I don't know how many of you may already have a profile up on CU Volunteer, but it's a terrific system that the university is using. And for PCCW, we share a fair bit of information about the organization on CU Volunteer. So you can find information about our membership directory. Other documents that we may share over the course of the year would all get posted on CU Volunteer. So it's a great tool for us going forward. In addition to, I would say that in addition to what we've outlined above, a PCCW member is encouraged to participate in the committees, as we've mentioned already before, and projects focused on strengthening relationships with Cornell women students, alumni, parents, friends, university administration, and faculty. We try to serve as role models for students, as mentors, speakers, or panelists, and many of you may already be engaged with some of these activities at Cornell, but these are some of the things that are important to us as PCCW. We also would encourage you to attend and support Cornell activities, especially those pertaining to women students and young alumni on campus and in your local community. And if you need assistance in sort of reaching out and just making sure that you're aware and on the various notices and mailing lists for these things, we can assist with you as well. We also work with the university in raising funds and building consensus for university and PCCW initiatives. And we represent the university's perspective to its primary constituencies as well as to the general public. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an overview in terms of some of our expectations. Also wanted to spend a minute outlining for you some of the PCCW philanthropic opportunities. Again, as we just mentioned, we would encourage you to make a gift to the university that's of your individual comfort level. You can make a gift anywhere at the university. We hope you'll consider making a gift to one of the PCCW funds that are listed on the slide. I will point out the PCCW microgrants program that's listed here is one of our newer initiatives, and it's been very successful. We just launched this about 2 years ago, and it's really, in addition to some of the larger grants that we provide, these smaller grants often help various organizations, clubs, and different women's groups across campus achieve goals that they may have. They may patch together funding from different sources to be able to put on a panel or an event that they have. And this PCCW microgrants program gives us the ability to provide some of this gap funding or to fund a specific initiative on a smaller basis. And so that's really been a very successful initiative that we've launched recently. And then obviously the PCCW Current Use Fund is something that allows us to continue to help our students and faculty in a number of different ways. So anyway, this just gives you sort of a big overview, kind of an overview of where some of the opportunities are. And we have some more information on each one of these funds on our website as well. So just to give you a quick overview on that. I just want to spend a minute talking about the annual PCCW symposium. This is a really terrific annual event that's usually held up in Ithaca, although our newer protocol now is we're going to be trying to alternate between having the symposium in Ithaca and in New York City. And so for 2018, we're scheduled to be in New York City on April 20th and 21st. So we're excited about that. More details to come. But this symposium really gives us an opportunity to engage with Cornell and with each other, to strengthen our connection to PCCW's work and to learn more about what's going on in the various committees within PCCW, and really to interact with each other and to meet other successful alumni. And also to learn about Cornell initiatives, all of the fabulous things that are going on at the university. Our symposium is really a great way to engage and to really become more up to date with the newest happenings at Cornell. And it also gives us an opportunity to participate in mentoring students and peers during symposium. So it's also a lot of fun. There's so much work that goes into the content and development of the programming at symposium. It's amazing to me how well done the program is every year, and we just continue to raise the bar and come up with programming ideas that just get better and better each year. So it's a lot of fun. It's very informative, and I hope that if you choose to join the organization, you'll be able to make it to symposium. We try to get the dates out there as far in advance as possible so people can get it on their calendars. I know it's always a busy time of year for everyone. So this is a sample of a check-in report of PCCW elected members. It's basically a blueprint of how we're doing. So the blue bar represents submitting a nomination. So according to the university records, only 10% of our membership submitted a nomination for PCCW. And that's something that we've been working on, trying to improve participation in the nominating process. So we've really been working on trying to make sure that we get the word out there as early as possible so that people have the opportunity to submit a nomination, which we also do through CU Volunteer. The red indicates that 37% of our membership joined a committee, which again, that's good, but we'd love to see continued increase in that activity, and really would love to see everyone engaged in a committee. But I think there's also a level of recognition that everyone's lives have multiple demands on them, and so sometimes it's also good to understand what the various committees are working on and what the initiatives are, because sometimes you may not be able to participate fully, but for example, if you wanted to get involved in planning of the annual symposium and you can provide support in a particular area, maybe there's some more project or task-oriented involvement that you can have in a specific committee that might better suit your needs. So that's why I say it's always a good idea to explore a little bit, reach out to the committee chairs and find out where there might be a good fit for you in terms of committee participation. The green tells us that about 30% of our members attended this 2017 symposium. again, I know it can be challenging to get to Ithaca, especially sometimes with the challenge of weather and other things that can happen, and also just our geographic locations. I mean, it's easier for some folks to make it to Ithaca, and so that's why we're trying this experiment in terms of changing up the location of the annual symposium. And 67% of our membership, you can see in the purple, has given a gift to the university or to PCCW. We hope the number of members who make a gift to the university will be closer to 100% by the end of the fiscal year. This is something that we typically see very, very good participation in from our PCCW members. But this just kind of gives you an overview of where we are on a year-to-date basis. So this is just a sample of your what you would receive as your PCCW individual check-in. 4 times a year, we'd provide you with a check-in just to let you know how you're doing. This is an example, and this is something that gets emailed to you 4 times a year. So this is something that kind of can prompt you to say, oh, have I nominated anyone yet? Oh, this is it's a good reminder, and I think by receiving this 4 times a year, I think it's a good prompter for us all to just stay up to date in terms of meeting the expectations. So this is just a bit of information where you can find some more information about PCCW online. We've got our address up here for the PCCW website. So if you need more information about PCCW, please go there. There's really a lot of terrific information. You can find out how to join a committee, how to nominate someone. There's membership information. There's information on symposium. And then we also have our PCCW member contact list. So you can see, you may already know people who are current members of the organization. You can take a look at it there. And then we also have our PCCW online calendar that can be found in the signature of all the PCCW emails. We are also on social media, and I know that this has been a focus for us, trying to expand our footprint and make sure that we're reaching people in ways that they want to be reached. So we are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn. So we really try to communicate as much as we can. We have members who attend events in local regions, posting photos and sharing information. We also post information about grant recipients, other events, PCCW initiatives. It's really just a great way for us to share information with the general Cornell population, with students, alumni, faculty, and the press. So you'd have to be an administrator to be able to post information to these pages. But if you have news that you would like to have posted, we also have contact information for folks that you can email and share that information with, kind of over the course of the year. Sometimes we just have some great photos from events and things like that people want to make sure that they are sharing. So I guess just to recap and just touch on what else we would want to know. Again, as we talked about, PCCW members are expected to participate in activities during their term to the extent possible, to attend as many of the annual meetings as you can, just to network with other members, meet Cornell faculty and staff, and develop a better understanding of what it means to be a member of PCCW. And to help us build a strong and diversified PCCW membership by nominating one or more candidates. We've really had so many fabulous candidates that come through this nominating process, and really just is a great way to keep our organization strong, diverse, and interesting. And we also look for folks to strengthen PCCW's presence by attending events in addition to the annual meeting. Again, local meetings, regional meetings, or co-sponsor programs. A lot of times PCCW will partner with other organizations within Cornell to sponsor events. And again, joining CU Volunteer and making a contribution at your individual comfort level. So I think we want to try to open up to questions at this point, and I don't know if we've, Jennifer, solved our technology challenge.
So if anyone has a question, feel free to go ahead and raise your hand. You should see a raised hand button at the top left of your screen. You are also very welcome to use the chat box or the Q&A box. Actually, we have our first question from Jess. Jess is asking, what does the PCCW have? Oh, I'm sorry, let me rephrase. Does the PCCW have a formal remit? We can answer live, or we can send her a text if she needs that.
I'm sorry, a formal remit?
Yes.
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Jess, if you would like to rephrase so we can better answer your question.
Sorry, I'm
right
sorry.
Ahead, and we'll come back to that one. I also have a question from, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, Rana. Can you please name all the committees again?
Sure. Hold on one second. Let me just go back and I will pull up that, that page. We also have all of the committees listed out on the PCCW website with additional descriptive information on each of the committees, as well as the contact information for the committee chairs. But I'll just recap it quickly for you. We have the Alumni Engagement Committee, the Communications Committee, Development, Faculty Engagement, Grants, Membership, Mentoring, Nominating, and Symposium Planning. So there are a lot.
Thank you very much. Okay. I have a question from Beth. Could we offer a few specifics about what PCCW is proud of accomplishing in the past year or two?
Sure. I would say that probably our activity on the grant side is something that really has been a big success area. We provide grants to tenured faculty, and it's really a, there's a process that folks go through in terms of submitting applications for the grants, but we've really been very successful in terms of our grant activity. I would say that's something that we're very proud of. I also think that we've really made a lot of strides on the mentorship side of things. I think that our mentoring activities in working with students and grad students has really continued to evolve over the last couple of years. I think I touched on earlier the new initiative for microgrants, and that's something that I would say that we're very proud of. Again, they're smaller dollar denominations that are awarded. We have an online process that clubs or different organizations can use to apply for these microgrants. But I think that that's something that that I would say we're very, very proud of getting that initiative started as well. It just continues to develop our outreach.
Cheryl, this is Tina. Heidi is texting me as we're talking, and she wanted me to remind everyone that on the PCCW website, we do have an infographic which does show all of our success. It's a couple years old, but it's got some really good information there. If you go to the PCCW website, you'll find it there, and it has all of our statistics. They spent a long time putting this together. It's an awesome way of seeing what they have accomplished.
Thank you, Tina.
Great,
I have another question from Carol. She would like to know, is every nominated candidate invited to join PCCW?
No, not everyone who is nominated is invited to join PCCW. We go through a vetting process on the membership committee, and we try for geographic diversity across the various colleges, and we really strive to welcome new members who are, leaders in their fields. Sometimes we may have candidates that are nominated that maybe don't fit those objectives at a current at the current time. So not everyone is offered membership.
Thank you. A question from Deborah. Can you elaborate on how PCCW is strengthening Cornell from the point of view of senior administration? And is Cornell leadership concerned about women's leadership within the university?
Well, I mean, I think, I think we have very good and very strong levels of interaction with very senior levels of leadership within the university. And so I think there's very direct dialogue between leadership of PCCW and senior leadership within the university. And so, understanding sort of what's happening at the university and how PCCW can work together with senior leadership to achieve mutual goals is something that's a constant conversation over the course of the year. Typically, our chair and vice chair are in ongoing communication with leadership of the university. I don't know if that helps answer the question. And I'm sorry, what was the second part of the question, Jennifer?
The second part is Cornell leadership concerned about women's leadership within the university?
I don't know what their focus area is, but I think they're very concerned about it. And I think it's something, I think that's why there's such strong support from the university for an organization like ours, for PCCW, to be able to give a voice to women. I think that's very much a focal area.
A question from Carol. May I have an idea of the time commitment when joining PCCW?
Sure. I think the time commitment really varies in terms of what you're able to do. It would be, terrific to be able to be involved in a committee and to be able to attend the annual symposium and, regional events. But I'd say that, I find that it varies. The time commitment varies by what you're able to contribute. So at a minimum, we would love it if our members could make it to the annual symposium, which is over a weekend in the spring each year. So that's, I would say, sort of a minimal level of commitment that we would be looking for. But in addition to that, the various committees have differing levels of commitments that are required. And I would say that the committees also have different time commitments as the year evolves. So for example, membership, we have a specific timeline for nominating, for reviewing nominations that come in, for vetting the candidates that have been nominated, and for making recommendations to the president of the university in terms of new members that we would like to invite to PCCW. So we have a very defined timeline. We have calls that are spelled out for those things. So if you want to be involved in the committee, we would lay that out for you up front so you would understand what that time commitment is to make sure that that fits your personal needs. And I would say that the different committees really have, again, varying timelines for their activities and differing levels of commitment. So I think it's good to maybe look at some of the more detailed descriptions of the committee activities, and then reach out if it sounds like it's something that's interesting to you, and we can provide you with that additional level of detail. But it's a good question. I think that the thing I have found with PCCW is that there is a great deal of flexibility. I've been a member of the membership committee for the last several years, but I only recently have taken on a leadership role with the committee. I'm excited to do that, but obviously that's a bigger time commitment than just being a member of the committee. So, but I would say that there's enough flexibility within the various committee structures to find something that works for you personally.
Thank you. A question from Rana. Does PCCW work with other alumni groups on projects?
We do, and we also look for opportunities to co-host events. I mean, I think working with other alumni organizations, especially on a local or regional level, looking for cross-section of interests, it's a great way to be able to co-sponsor events and to interact with different alumni organizations. So yes, we do.
One more question. This is from Beth. Can we also see info on past symposium events?
Sure. Tina, is that something, do we have any, can we share, I think last year's program is probably still posted on the website, and so you could probably still see some detail on that. But Tina, do we have something that we can share, like maybe PDFs of the past few years?
We can. We have the past few years. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. Programs still listed on our PCCW website. So Beth, you could look there, or I could give you some more information if you'd like that, in PDF the programs that we've done before.
Okay. Any other questions? Wonderful. I think that does it for this evening's program. Thank you so much to Cheryl, to Heidi, to Tina. Thank you all for joining us, and please feel free to give us an email if you have further questions.
Yeah, no, I think definitely it's hard. It's always hard to address every question that pops up, and you may think of things after the fact. So we're all very happy to answer any additional questions that you may have. So please reach out, and thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.